You too. Oh, I got Griffin in the video.
So good, bro.
You good, you good. You too, what it do, man? It's your boy Baylor TV. I'm back with another reaction video for y'all. That was my coworker right there. He ain't even know I was starting yet. But look, we got another divorce court video, man. We're gonna react to it real quick. You know I'm not gonna hold y'all time, man. Let's get into it right about now.
Miss Jones says her fiance wants another baby so badly, she's willing to do anything to have one. And that includes cheating on her with a man. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Jones v. Hunter.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jones and Ms. Hunter. I'm glad to have you here in Divorce Court. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Divorce Court. We have a couple before us who've been together for 4 years. They've been engaged for 2 years, but there's a little one whose life kind of hangs in the balance depending on what these women decide to do with going forward with their relationship. Let's get into the case. Ms. Jones, why are we here in Divorce Court?
We're here today because we get married in 2 months, and she just recently cheated on me with a man, and she don't have a job and don't want to keep one. So if she don't get a job soon, I'm just done. The wedding is off.
So wait a minute. Cheated on you with a man, doesn't have a job, but you still get married in 2 months?
It's love.
It's love.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hear what your fiance said, Miss Hunter?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you say?
I mean, I told her the truth. I came out to her about me sleeping with the man, and I told her I really wanted to have a big family, and I really do love her. So.
And you think that that's okay in a relationship?
I mean, we did it before.
Oh, I think I'm gonna learn a lot more about the two of you in the coming few minutes. And so let's get into that. But before we do, I see that we have a witness who has joined us, and we will hear from your witness a little later in the case. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us. Ms. Jones, take me back, because this sounds like a cauldron of hot mess. I want to know where you started and what got us to this point. Tell me how you met.
Look, I know y'all hate when I be pausing, bro. You know, you feel me? I know y'all hate that. But look, I gotta say something, bro. She's 29 years old. Precious is 29, and Peaches is 22 years old, fam. She's 22, can't hold a job. She's still a child. Like, 22 is pretty up there, and it's like, it's not too far from 18, but she's still a child. Like, she can't even make proper decisions type. And you wanna, you know, continue, or you wanna marry this girl. And I ain't gonna even cap, like, Precious, man, she could dress like a boy, Peaches could dress like a boy all she want, but it, like, I don't think she go that way for real. Like, I think I don't think she all the way with it. I don't think she know yet. She 22 years old. I don't think she know yet that this how she really want to roll, because I'm looking at her like, she still got, like, girl figure.
Met on Facebook. It was her birthday. I wrote her and told her happy birthday. And
You all were friends on Facebook, or were you trolling Facebook? Come on.
I was friends with her mom.
Oh, okay.
I was friends with her mom. I wrote her on the status, and I was like, happy birthday. And she jumped in my inbox, and we started talking from there. And my birthday is like 4 days after hers. So she ended up coming to my birthday dinner. And when she came to my birthday dinner, we just hit off from there.
And now you're a bit older than Miss Hunter.
Yes, ma'am.
You're now 29.
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Hunter, you are 22.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, has the age been an issue in this relationship?
Yes.
Tell me about the relationship.
Everything was good. Everything was good when we first got together. We both was working. We both was like getting together. Everything was good. She moved in with me like 2 weeks later because
That's quick.
Yeah, she moved in with me like 2 weeks later. Her mom eventually like put her out, so she ended up staying with me 2 weeks later. We both was working at the same job. She eventually got fired because, she eventually got fired because I don't know. Like, she just don't know how to control her anger when she's mad, even at the workplace. So that was a big problem with that.
Why'd you get fired?
I was coming to the head multiple times about my job. I didn't like how they was treating me. And she was my manager at the job, so it was making it worse on our relationship. So when I left the job, I was just like thinking about maybe this.
So you were dating the person that you were working for?
She was my manager at the time.
Oh, y'all left that out the story.
She was my manager, so it was kind of getting hard. Once I got upset about the job, I was like,
y'all just are an HR nightmare right now.
Right.
Okay? Because I didn't even realize that. So you were the manager.
I was a team member at first. I became a manager. I got a bigger position. And once I became a manager, she just thought I was supposed to show favoritism towards her other than the other employees, and that wasn't finna happen.
That is why the old folks will tell you do not do something where you eat, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
okay?
yes, that's true.
Because that is always going to be a mess. All right, so you end up, you're no longer working together, but you stay together as a couple.
Yes.
Okay, so now what happens?
So now that she's not working, I'm taking over all the bills. I have a car. I'm taking my car note. We have a baby. He's 8 months, gonna be 9 months.
You have a baby?
Yeah.
Explain that circumstances. I mean, listen, things are all different now. I need to know everything.
Yes, ma'am. So, stepping back, when we first got together, we was always talking about having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I have this best friend. He had no kids. We had no kids. So the plan was, okay, let's have a baby. He was okay with letting us get together and have a baby.
So in other words, the old-fashioned way, so you didn't have to pay for IVF treatments.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we did it, and
Both of you?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is some new stuff, y'all.
Yes.
The judge is learning new stuff. Corey, you learning new stuff?
I'm learning new stuff.
Okay. Go ahead.
Me and her and him did it, and when we went into it, it was like, she can get pregnant, I can get pregnant. It really didn't matter who got pregnant. We just wanted the baby.
Oh, so they both smashed? Yo, I told you, bro. I told you, the girl still got girly looks, bro. He smashed both of them.
One that got pregnant, and she didn't like that. But we had an understanding at first that it was supposed to be our baby regardless.
And the young man was not supposed to be involved.
He wasn't supposed to have no parts in it. His mindset was he don't want no kids. He didn't want nothing to do with it. He just was doing it because I was his friend. But as time went on, I was posting my appointment, me at my appointments, my baby bump, and he started trying to come along. Well, I want to go to your next appointment. And it built a wedge between me and Peaches.
Absolutely, that makes sense. Because that wasn't the agreement.
That wasn't the plan.
That was not the agreement.
Yes, that wasn't the agreement.
Not just wasn't the plan, that wasn't the agreement. Am I correct, ma'am?
yeah, it wasn't an agreement at all.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he wasn't supposed to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to get complicated, Corey. Okay.
We was constantly getting into it about her want to have a baby, her not working. It was just a lot. And I ended up leaving. The dude she was talking about, she ended up bringing him to our house, and having sex with him trying to get pregnant.
When her best friend overstepped his boundary, it made me feel some type of way.
So you decided to go and sleep with somebody else?
Yeah.
God, yo. So what is it, man? You 29, you can't get a man? What is it, man?
So long story short, I had a gender reveal at the restaurant, found out my gender, posted it on Facebook, posted it on Snapchat, and we found out I was having a little boy. So once we did all that, me at 7 months, I had a stillborn. I had my baby, but he was a stillborn. Yeah. So, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That's horrible.
Yeah. So
you all lost your child.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetheart, that's the worst, most devastating thing anybody could ever deal with.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so we had a stillborn with my baby, and it was just a lot on me. It was a lot on her because she lost the baby too. It was our baby. But
Ms. Hunter, how did that make you feel?
I got very depressed at the time.
I could imagine.
It was too much at the time. Because even though she got pregnant and I still wanted the baby after the fact that she was pregnant, I was still bugging on her about that. But I was letting it go because she was already pregnant. But when the best friend got involved, I was kind of like, well, I want to go have my own baby. And
oh, Lord, Joe.
that's when it got hectic.
So a couple of weeks later, she was like, well, I can go have a baby now. And I'm like, I'm not worried about a baby right now. You know, it's traumatic.
You had just given birth and
Yes.
you didn't get to bring the baby home.
Yes. So she was like right on it. She was on my head. I want to have a baby. I want to have a baby. And then she asked me one time I was at work. She was like, so I found somebody. Can I go do it without you? And I was like, no. Like I didn't approve it. I was
Hadn't
like,
you all just buried your
yeah.
child?
I was like, I didn't approve it. I was like, no. It was a no. Didn't approve. So that was a problem. We was constantly getting into it about her want to have a baby, her not working. It was just a lot. And I ended up leaving, going to stay with my sister for two days or whatever. And the dude she was talking about, she ended up bringing him to the house, our house, and having sex with him trying to get pregnant.
Miss Hunter?
I can explain that.
Oh, you
I can explain, yes.
Okay.
Because that did sound wrong. That just sounded like I just said that and did what I wanted to do. I got to know him eventually, but I was telling him, hey, I really do want to have a baby. I was getting depressed about it, and I kept like bugging on it. I was like, this need to happen, it need to happen now. So when we broke up, I was just like, I was gonna have my kid, regardless.
Who broke up?
Me and her. We had broke up for that time. Like after she found out.
But wait a minute. Before you had just buried the child.
Yeah.
This conversation happened in that time period. Am I correct? Where you asked to go out and get pregnant by somebody else?
I asked her. I mean, we talked about it multiple times.
But your partner said no.
But I felt like she said no to me because it was me.
But didn't you all have an agreement? You know, I'm very proud of myself. I'm not being judgy here. I'm just trying to make sure that the agreement is...
And listen, I thought we had an agreement too, but when her best friend overstepped his boundary, it made me feel some type of way.
So you decided to go and sleep with somebody else?
Yeah.
I left for 2 days. Same night.
In these 2 days, these 48 hours, you slept with somebody else.
We was talking. We was friends.
Clearly, you are picking these dudes that they're your best friends, but they just trying to get free. Let me be very clear.
Oh, yeah. 2 days, I left. Literally, my sister stayed down the streets from my apartment. I left for 2 days. Same night.
In these 2 days, these 48 hours,
the same night,
you slept with somebody else. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. We was talking. We was friends. I mean, she was best friends with her friend, and it was okay when she was doing that with her friend.
No, but it was okay when the two of you were doing it with this gentleman.
I asked her that she wanted to do it together. She didn't want to do it together.
So, but you all made an agreement originally, and then that agreement was now null and void. You didn't need to strike a new agreement, and that new agreement had to have a meeting of the minds of the two people in the agreement. The two people didn't make the agreement. You may be 22, but you understand exactly what I'm saying. I'm not being silly.
What put the icing on the cake?
There was more?
He messaged me. He told me, yeah, she did it. We was over there last night.
So let me tell you something. First of all, you all need to choose wisely. That's number one. And clearly, you are picking these dudes that they're your best friends, but they just trying to get free. Let me be very clear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Okay?
Yeah.
And you can be whatever you want to be in terms of your own sexuality, but relationships are about commitment. Okay? And if you're supposed to be in a committed relationship with the two of you, any agreements to bring any third party in have to be agreements between the two of you. That's just not right. But I need to come back to you, Ms. Jones, because that's not the only thing that concerns you, because Ms. Hunter has not had a job in a long time. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. She haven't worked. And she came to me one day and she was like, I don't think I'm ever working again.
No, I have to ask Ms. Hunter, because there must be something around it, because you know how you always started. I can explain. Explain.
Okay. At first, it was just a break.
A break from what?
The job, the working and being overwhelmed.
But you're 22.
I was overwhelmed.
That's not overwhelmed, that's lazy. And if you're overwhelmed and it's an emotional overwhelming, then you need to get some assistance to get over that. Because you're going to have to work.
I do get assistance. I go to therapy. That's the thing. I was going to therapy. I was doing all this stuff. But every time I get into a workplace and I have them days, they ain't giving me breaks. So
how are you making it work, Miss Jones?
Okay, so I pay over $2,000 a month. Car insurance, stuff for the baby, bills, and she'll tell you, sometimes I even overwork myself. I be tired because I work nights, and I do have a side job because on the side I am a nail tech.
You hustling, girl,
yeah,
that's
I'm
what
a
you're
nail
doing.
tech. Yeah. So I try to make sure we okay. Her, me, the baby, the house, I try to make sure we okay at all times.
You keep saying baby.
Yeah.
You all have another baby.
Yes. So about that, I have a friend, and she recently was pregnant, and she had a baby, and she gave him to me, and she was like, "You deserve it." She said it was too much for her.
Y'all trading babies like they trading cards.
Yeah.
Right.
She gave him to me. He was 2 weeks old then.
Do you have any paperwork on this?
I have a custody of him.
Okay, thank you, Lord.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what you doing, Miss Hunter?
I mean, she doing all that. I'm watching the baby. She working constantly, and when she do get a break, she don't stop and just think about the family. She want to go out with friends. She want to have fun with her friends.
And I am watching your witness who you brought. And before I even ask her to join you, she's wiping tears away from her eyes. Miss Bradley, will you please join your sister at the wedding? This stand.
Oh, Lord.
Will you introduce yourself to the court, please?
I am Kalisha Bradley.
Miss Bradley, why are you crying?
Yes, ma'am. Because all of this, I didn't know all of this was going on. And it's kind of sad, to be honest. She should have just left her with her mama. She got into it with her mama. She kicked out. Okay, fine. She just left her with her mama because she's still a child.
Miss Bradley, so let me guess, you do not approve of this relationship?
At all. Never have.
Yo, Miss Bradley, the only one that got some sense, bruh. Miss Precious, bruh, she just ignoring all the red flags, fam. She too young, and she don't know what she like for real. She ain't experienced life yet. She keep making wrong decisions after wrong decisions. You too, Miss Precious, but you just keep taking her back. You keep telling yourself this is love. This is not love. This is just making mistakes, bro. And y'all both not realizing it, bro. Especially for this one right here, because she's still a kid. She talking about something she's not going to work. What? 22? No.
Miss Bradley, you've actually witnessed some interaction between the two of them that caused you some concern, like at the club or something like that?
Yes, ma'am. It was just like, a little controlling to me, because if
What
I
was
ask
it?
my sister something, you don't ask me, you gotta ask her.
And you disagree with that, don't you?
I disagree with the whole situation.
Did you know that, Miss Jones, that Miss Bradley disagrees with the whole situation?
Yes, because the night at the club when me and Peaches came to the club, we had on matching Nike outfits. We came to the club. As soon as she seen it, she was like, "What's this? What y'all got going on?" And Peaches was like, "This my girl." And she was like, "How old are you?" That's how she came. It wasn't no, "Hey, how y'all doing? How's the night?" It was, "How old are you?" And I said, 25. And she was like, "You too old for my sister. Like, you too old for her." But from my understanding, her wife 15 years older than her.
I had my first child when I was 14 years old, so I've been grown.
No, you just been having to make grown folks decisions longer than other people.
So I've been grown up. I was on my own and had my own house, my own car at the age of 16 years old. I've been paying bills and been going to work and doing what I'm supposed to do. Nobody got me out my mama's house. I got myself out my mama's house.
Miss Hunter, you hear what your sister's saying?
Yes, ma'am. I was very sheltered.
She was very sheltered.
So that's why I don't feel like I have to work.
There's a lack of maturity with you, a lack of control. You don't see a future of movement in your life. And I don't know why. And I do think you should invest in some real therapy. Let me get to know myself, because it's far too early in your life to have given up at this stage. Far too early. And I'm gonna say this to you from the heart. The last thing you need to do is bring another child into this hot cauldron of mess. Miss Bradley, do you agree with me in that way?
I most definitely do.
And I'm gonna turn to you, Miss Jones. You now have a 8-month-old that is your responsibility?
Yes, ma'am.
I understand that you have the power of attorney over this child's life. That's what you need to be focused on.
Yes, ma'am.
And getting some grief therapy on the loss of your biological child. The two of you need to figure out who you are individually before you are ready to be in a relationship together. And if you should mature along the way and find yourself back in a position that you can bring two whole people to a relationship, then I hope you find your way. But until then, go your separate ways.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise that baby. Please give that baby more, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Give that baby more. That's what the baby deserves. And Miss Hunter, I'm going to caution you. Please do not lay with somebody that you are not ready to build a real life for or with. That's my verdict.
Yo, man, shout out to the judge, man. She gave them two some real game and how to, like, navigate through life. Miss Hunter, she need the game the most. Miss Precious too, but she older. She should have been figured this thing out by now. She 29 years old. I feel like Miss Precious, bro, I feel like she desperate, kid. I feel like she desperate. She may be a little bit insecure. She's obviously hasn't had the best luck in the dating scene, relationships, and she needs to get her priorities straight. She's 29. She has an 8-month-old baby. She needs to really focus on that. And Miss Hunter, man, Miss Hunter don't got life figured out yet, bro. She 22 years old. She's just out here willy-nilly. She thinks that she doesn't have to work because she was sheltered all her life, and by the time she got kicked out, she's like afraid or whatever. She went to the person that was like nearest to her, which was her girlfriend. Should have been her sister, but she went to her girlfriend because she probably knew. She went to her sister that she couldn't do whatever she wanted to do. Her sister would have been on her ass for real, because the sister got some sense how life goes. But over there with Miss Precious, she could do whatever she want. She could quit a job and just quit the job, and then Miss Precious gonna put up with it. She gonna pay all the bills. She ain't gonna tell her nothing. But yeah, that's my ending thoughts, guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to my 100 subscribers, man. Thank you guys for doing this. Thank you guys for supporting me out here. And yeah, man, just stay tuned for the next video, all right? Peace.